under your watch. And everybody knows that, apparently, except you. Either that or you're not being forthcoming with it.
We've also had the largest number of individuals expelled or removed from the southern border. And if one takes a look at the apprehension and encounter...
Now I'm back because I heard something at the end here.
And then the removal numbers...
Wasn't going to say anything.
If you do the safe third country policy,
they said it just made me have to
that'll
do it.
solve half of your problem right there. And you're not denying anybody asylum.
Thank you, Senator Kennedy.
Now, what he was trying to get across is that some countries need to go through countries to get to the borderline. All right? That's what they have in America. And let me know if I got this wrong. I'm not writing this, it's not my job, but I'm just going to have my say. And he's saying that instead of allowing people just walk through countries, and when they get to the border, you have to let them in because they're in a country they haven't seeked asylum yet, so they shouldn't even be there. Right? But they're there and they're at your borderline, right? And then they say, well, you got to get us because we're at a country we shouldn't be at, and this country's bad, and rah, rah, rah. There's lots of excuses, right? But that's pretty much what's happening, I don't know. And he wants to stop that. To secure the border a bit better, he wants to allow that Mexico get all the people, or they got to apply for Mexico first. Then, if they want to leave Mexico, not happy with there, they've got to use new rules now of why they're leaving Mexico, right? So it's another little stepping stone. That's what he's saying there. And that's what other countries do. Right? And China definitely does. You know why? Because China only wants benefits, doesn't want shit. It's controlling of its people. And so it controls how it comes in, and it doesn't want any problems, rather send it somewhere else. Right? That's why China does what China does, as they're different than the Western people. They really are. And the Western people say, well, if people get to the border, it's inhumane to send them back. Right? And so the judge said, yeah, well, that's, in a way, that would be right. Right? We don't want that. And so we'll hold the kids and we'll tell them to get through that Mexico. They're in a bad country, third world country, or on the list of the country they'd selected, right? And you got to go through that. So say if you're an American and it went the other way around and you had to go to the other country on the other side where they're coming from, right? One of those countries. Then America would have to do the same thing. So you let me know as an American, would you like to it's bad enough you've got to go through Mexico to get to, say, we'll just call it any name, right? Say to Colati, right? Which is past Mexico, but you have to go through there. Or you have to get in Mexico to get through to their border, right? And they won't allow it because you've got to seek asylum for Mexico, but you don't want Mexico. Mexico's bad. Right? You want to talk about things that all these countries are doing. But if all these countries do that same rule that China's doing, no one would really ever know that that's happening until it's too late for a lot of people. And that's what you see in third world countries, is you hear towns get wiped out, and then later on we see photos of towns burnt and wiped out in India, Africa, some parts of China as they've tried to stand up, right? And we only find out later because of rules like that, right? And so we've got to be civil. And the best way to be civil is to keep what they have. I agree with a system like that, right? That they don't have to seek asylum. Doesn't mean other countries do it. Doesn't mean it's good for you. You got to look at why they picked their decisions, right? It doesn't mean it works. In a way, it might not work for your full way, right? Like the other guy was saying that you're going to get rid of their whole system of how they do things. And so the best way to do that, when you're loving's hard, right? And that means you just need a more better, secure border. Simple as that. And you can keep the other policy the way it is. You're only failing in certain areas because the border's not secured enough, really, for sending in people today of the technology and the abilities we can do. We've got drones and all sorts of things. And that wall is like here in Australia with the year here, let's vote. And I think it was that side, right? And we're going to do an answer on it that's something decent, which is a bit of a joke because it's not 100%, is it? It's an old way. But it used to work back in the day, and when it's the only thing you got, it's something, isn't it? But when you got a game show that can go, now do your votes now, right? Instead of going you here, and it goes tick, 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 and takes 2 seconds. And when you actually get the exact count and go, okay, it was this one, you don't need no one yelling out anything. It's more of a better way, isn't it? To upgrade things. And because certain areas don't get upgraded, they can cause a lot of problems in other areas. Right? And so that's why I always go back to find out. You're always worried about a cost. Well, you find out how long has this been going for. Let's look back how much cost we've spent trying to keep that dingo out. When if we just build a fence, we know this outcome already. How much cheaper we can spend our time and the dingo keeps out. You see, by spending the cost and the effort of building the fences with what you see farmers do when they go to new land. They build a wall, right? And a secure wall for the animal that you're trying to keep out. When you're trying to keep a human out, well, you don't treat it like a normal wall. It has to be at least electrified, videoed, and be people with weapons, as a human is a dangerous animal. It's the most dangerous animal on this planet, and it's getting more dangerous every day. It's technology that's controlled by big dangerous corporations that allow these people to have it, as there's no decent governments that get along with policies. They pretend to, but nothing really happens, does it, people? No one can really stop any country from doing all sorts of things for real. The only way we're stopping people is talking about threats and stuff like that, and hope. But anyway, have a good one out there, and see you later.